business is like a marriage. It has highs, it has lows.
Wow, we're going there already. We're gonna go
Here
there,
we
boy.
go.
Here we go.
Had we not had as strong of a marriage, the business would not have ever been as successful as it is. And
Hey guys, Rhonda and Dracoulis here with RK3 Designs. Welcome to the Pro Artisan Podcast. Today we're going to have Frank and Kelle Sullivan. They've been longtime friends and motivational and inspirational people to us for years. Well, here we are with Frank and Kelle Sullivan from Seguin, and we've got Kenny here with us today too. We're going to talk a little bit about working with your spouse. So, Frank, tell me a little bit about yourself, and Kelle, kind of introduce yourself as well.
I'm Frank.
I'm Kelle.
She's the leader, I'm the follower.
Oh gosh, we're going to get that on video.
I'm the chief, he's the Indian.
There you go.
There you go.
And you have to be more than comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be the leader. You can lead together, but you have to be willing to take the second space.
Yeah, I
from
agree.
time to time.
Tell me a little bit, what do you do, and maybe a little bit about your construction company in the past?
So I was a third generation metal building builder. Grandfather did it, Dad did it, I did it. I got to work with my father for a long period of time, which I was blessed to be able to do that. Met Kelle through some other friends. I think I was 20 when I met her, and didn't take long. I think 8 months, and I proposed, and caught her at a weak moment in her life. And from then on, we didn't purposely, but we ended up starting a construction company together. It was my brain thought to do that, and
Your dream, your high school dream.
my high school dream to have my own business, and so we grew that business together, and it was very successful enough that the people that we had working with us are still, a lot of them are still with the company, even though we sold it in 2013
To another husband and wife
to
team.
another husband and
There you
wife
go.
team.
Wow.
And which was a blessing for us, because we wanted to see the business continue to thrive, and the co-workers that we had working with us, that those that wanted to stay would stay, and quite a few, the majority of them have stayed.
And they've really grown that business.
And they've really grown the business to a
the
different
next level.
that we had no
complete
intentions
different level,
of
yeah.
going to.
Wow, that's cool.
And so
And now you've got Tiger Sports
now
Complex.
we bought 30 acres here on Cordova Road, and spent all of 2016 built the CrossFit gym.
He did.
Well, me, my son, and my brother from another mother, Martin Whitson, and a couple other young guys, Justin Johnson, and some high school boys, and we spent from February to May to build the CrossFit gym, 5,000 square foot building, and then we finished the gym. It's a 20,000 square foot facility. Finished it in November of 2016.
And now you've got the back.
And now we've got the beach complex, and it's 8 sand courts. Four of the courts are underneath the roof unit. That's 38,000 square feet underneath the roof.
Wow.
And rains, of course, during the year has slowed the process down, but it's really starting to take shape. It's a little more massive than what my imagination. I'm pretty good at imagining and seeing the end, but even today, every day I walk out there, it's growing much. It's more of a spectacle than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is where we're at. This is where
amazing.
we've gotten to.
Yeah. Kelle, tell me a little bit about what you've got going on.
Well, I run the volleyball program here. We have 14 club teams. Right now we're kind of on lockdown, so I don't really get to do a lot. But I'm not one of the coaches. I've spent many years coaching, but I'm not one of the coaches. I handle the administrative side behind the club, like all of the team organization, get us in tournaments, the lodging, the coaches, the things like that. As far as the CrossFit next door, I'm one of the trainers over there for the owner, as well as I have my own CrossFit programming that I do. I have a women's only program. I do football specific, and then
what's that
this Next Level Fitness.
There you go.
Next Level Fitness. I run that over there for women's only. And during the summer, I have a football certified program for CrossFit that I do for, I started it when my son was in high school, and I did it for 5 years while he played. And then when he graduated, some of the boys from other schools asked if I would continue it. So the majority of them come from Navarro right now, but some others from New Braunfels and the Steel, Cibolo area.
That's cool. So just in case you guys are wondering, Sky is in the background. She's giving some lessons with volleyball.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this place that we're at.
I had interest in volleyball before we got married, and then I figured that when we had our first child, we're going to enforce a little bit of athleticism into him. And Kelly being a track person, I thought she was kind of going to take over in that aspect, and I think she did do some of that with her. But I really kind of just got her involved with volleyball and softball at a really young age, pretty much right out of diapers.
Like I did with horses.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I figure if you start them young, it's just to introduce them to the culture of being athletic and being fit. And I don't know so much what my thought process was. It's just I got so much enjoyment out of the game, being a lifetime game, that I wanted to pass that on to my kids. And so Skylar just took to it as a natural. And so I coached her in middle school first, and then, middle school, and we created Texas Tigers Volleyball Club.
Yeah, I remember when you taught. Yeah. I remember when you were coaching at Lifegate.
Yeah. Where we're at right now is really just a collaboration of 25 years of being parents, being coaches, and going to all these locations and saying, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like that. If we ever do our thing, this is what we're going to do. But, we exposed the kids to all sports. It wasn't just, certain things.
Absolutely.
Even now we believe that at a young age, kids just need to learn how to move.
Absolutely.
How to use their bodies, how to be involved in something, and know that there's things that are expected of you. Being
an athlete is more than just playing a sport. It comes with a culture of work ethics. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute.
Oh, yeah.
It's fair to say that you guys are entrepreneurs. What you think? Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you, being an entrepreneur?
We are very diversified.
That is great.
We had our own construction company together, and I do truly believe it was together because Kelly, she had a harder job than I did. She had to manage the money. She had to manage the human resources.
And sometimes there was no money to manage.
You're right.
Then you had to be creative.
We had to go without money sometimes on our own personal aspect to make sure that our employees were taken care of. And that was just the philosophy that we had. We were going to feed others before we fed ourselves.
Yep.
And but we also, I realized at a very young age that if you're going to be successful, you have to be able to do a little bit of everything. It's good if you're really good at something, but you have to be fairly decent at a lot of different things. And if you can be good at something and not have work ethic, and if you don't have work ethic, then it doesn't work. And so the people that helped us grow our business, which was employees and customers, all realized that, one, there's going to be tremendous communication coming back and forth between us. Mm-hmm. And I think communication and work ethic is the grounding things that made us so successful in everything that we did. Mm-hmm. So we had a construction company, but we did metal buildings, concrete, fencing, cabinetry, ceilings.
Commercial.
We did everything under one roof.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do all that stuff at a top-notch level, which we were able to achieve.
Oh, I know your reputation for is great.
You're not always going to be successful. Sometimes you're going to trip. And the whole fact was, when we tripped, we didn't walk away. Mm-hmm. We finished whatever we needed to do. There was none of this coming back, well, you owe me a little bit more for this. No, it was what it was.
Right.
And so Kelly would get upset sometimes because we would be without money and trying to finish a job. And I say, okay, this is September. At the end of the year, if we're still better off than we were last year, it's a win.
There you go.
Because life is about peaks and lows. You're going to have peaks and lows, and you want to try to be level, flat line at a steady pace, but it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
This business is like a marriage. It has highs, it has
Oh,
lows.
wow. We're going there already.
We're gonna go
Here
there,
we
boy.
go.
There
Here
we
we
go.
go.
You know?
Buckle up. We're there.
That was
So
funny.
had
Yeah.
we not had as strong of a marriage, the business would not have ever been as successful as it is. And so
That's good. Now we're gonna kind of talk. We're just gonna dive in here, people. Here we go. Okay, so tell me what working together as a partnership spouse, how y'all
it was
do that.
easy for me. I think it was really hard for her because whenever we hit a low, it was always, this is your dream, Frank, not mine.
I hear the same thing.
I said that regardless if we were high or low.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't discriminate.
There you go.
This is your dream. that
Do
we're
y'all, how do you handle, okay, so I know Kenny and I, when we've got mentors, I'm sure you have mentors. And I remember my mentor telling me you have to have lanes, and you have to know what you're good at, and you need to stay in that lane. It doesn't mean you can't come out of that lane ever so often. And like I say, there's been head-on collisions several times.
Right.
But how do you guys work through issues, or maybe, do you both try to do the same thing? Do you let
No,
each other do
we
what
both
you're
have
best
different
at?
responsibilities.
He's a good driver.
you know.
When I take my lane out of the middle, he knows how to drive around me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
I don't
Oh,
know how to
hush.
drive around.
My-
I don't have to, because you do.
She's in the middle. You got to learn
right.
to
I
be a
know, I
better
gotta
driver.
swerve.
I always knew it when it came down to just to the nuts and bolts of what we were doing. If it was construction related, she knew that I was the driver for that. And then when it came down to the administration side of it, the insurance, the taxes, and human resources part of it, she was the driver. And I support her there, and she would support me to the other way. And then,
And sometimes I would want to understand his side better. So I would question and I would ask. And
That's it.
And
I'm
he
just
would
understanding.
misinterpret that as me trying to be the driver of the construction side. And I would say, I'm just trying to understand. Because you never know if I might have a better idea.
Right.
But I can't have a better idea if I don't understand. Not that I'm trying to have a better idea, but I might.
But there you go. I completely understood that, Kelly.
I don't.
but I didn't ever ask her what she was doing on her side. I just said,
Yeah, you
that's
just
her
do your
thing.
thing.
She's going to do it to the best of her abilities.
I was trying to grow in my knowledge.
And sometimes your spouse wants you to know, are you willing to do some of this? I said, no, you're doing fine with it. I know if you make a mistake, we'll be able to lift ourselves out of that. And so most of the time, if there was a mistake, it was on my side. I misbid something, or I didn't manage something correctly, and we would lose money on it. And
that didn't happen very often, but
didn't
it did
have
happen.
a lot, but it happened enough
It
to
does.
keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
To know that you have to fail in
Oh.
order to know how well you can succeed. And
Absolutely.
so I'm not afraid of failing as long as it's being productive failure.
As you can learn, and
Right.
we believe that too, because we've had several businesses, as you know.
Oh yeah.
And some have been a huge flop, and some are still touching people's lives.
Right.
As
They
we
touch my life every Christmas.
Yeah. So, and that really does us, warms our heart.
Yeah, for sure.
That Christmas, they're talking about a Christmas lighting business we had for about 14 years, and that was Kenny's huge passion. That was his passion. I was just the backseat of that. That was big for him, and the roles have kind of reversed now with RK3 Designs. People see me in front more than they see him, but he is just as much of a part of that, of the success of that, as I am, probably even more so.
Say
So
it. Say it.
that tasted terrible coming out of my mouth.
I want to get that on record one more time to
Babe.
make sure that they do hear that.
That you were needed. I tell you that all the
I
time.
know.
Okay,
Just
you
messing
better.
with you. Just making sure that they know what's up.
Okay. Well. Okay, so we've kind of, we're so much parallel. So now let's start getting into some of the emotional side of it. Tell me about I can't look at you, Kelly, when I say this. Tell me about the passion that you've taken in your business. How do you apply that to your family? Your work ethics. You talk about culture. Tell me, I guess actually a better way to ask this is, Frank, tell me your why. Kelly, tell me your why. Why do you do this? Why do you have this?
Just want to stay busy. I'm never satisfied. I have to have something physical that I'm working on so I can see the result at the end. Whereas I also see the result from the kids that I'm lucky enough to be a small part in their lives. You know, if I've coached an athlete and then they go on and they go to college and they start their lives, and then our paths cross in Walmart, and they're not turning tail to get away from me, but they actually are calling me out. That's the emotional feedback I get from that.
That's your why.
That's not
Your
the physical
Yeah.
part. That's the emotional side of it. To know that you did something good, you know.
Yeah.
And I also feel like we should coach the same way that people are work with other people in real life. If I did something wrong at my job, how would running lines or running laps keep me, get me motivated to do better the next time? So
Consequences.
consequences. So why would I do that? I don't coach kids the same way. I coach kids the same way I would motivate my fellow workers. I don't say they're employees, they're my coworkers. We're working together towards being successful because nobody wants to suck. I hope that's okay to say that.
Yeah, for sure.
No one deliberately wants to suck.
Right.
And the same way goes for kids, boys and girls. When they're doing something new, whether it's an athletic sport or it's any other activity, learning how to write or do math, no one wants to lose or fail.
Intentionally,
No,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yelling at them, being non-positive reinforcement does not help them. What helps them is being motivated and celebrating the little good
The
things.
little things, yeah.
And the big things, celebrating even more. And when they do fail, as long as it's being productive failure, then we need to applaud that too.
But that's not live. There are times when you kind of lose
Well,
every now and then.
yeah,
It
with
happens.
the older
So, let's be real.
athletes.
Well,
yes.
that's life,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
life. You can't, going through life, you're not always smiling and everything. You have to face situations, and some situations require that,
Yeah.
But why did we build all this?
Yeah.
Why?
What
Who
deep
did we
in your
build this
heart?
for?
We built it for the
our
kids.
Our kids.
Yeah.
Our kids and other kids to be able to have a place to go and
But to
play.
leave something.
And leave
for our
something for our children, and we also built it in a way that when we leave, that they don't want to keep using it for the same purpose, they can still sell it for something else. It's not the Alamo Dome, which can only be
Right.
used as
Right.
that type of a setting.
Right.
Everything that we build here could be used as a commercial setting or a
Right.
business setting. So if the volleyball aspect goes away, it's okay.
The physical
Physical part of it.
buildings are here,
Are here
and
to
to
be-
set a foundation.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
going to be just something great for us to leave to them. But
That's awesome.
they're so much a part of it that they remember the.
So is it fair to say that, because what I'm hearing from you, not once did I hear you're motivated by money. There's nothing wrong with being motivated by money. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing is that you're motivated by people.
Mhm.
And I
It has to be
it's fair.
profitable. It
Well,
has to be
absolutely,
profitable, of course.
absolutely.
Well, yeah,
But-
because you can't do it without
Can't do it
paying
without-
for it.
Right.
For
So, I
But
mean,
that's
you gotta
not
pay for
your.
it.
At the end of the
no.
day, that's not what you look
No.
at, and that's how Kenny and I are too. Is at the end of the day, when we teach these classes, Saturday evening is always a bittersweet for us because people are leaving, people
Right.
that we've invested our time with
Yeah.
and our hearts. I mean, sometimes it's tough to see them go, but when they, and I'm sure it's the same with you, like the Walmart thing, when you see them create something or become something that you had a hand in, That is a feeling like
It's a
no
great feeling,
other.
right?
Yeah.
I think the best feeling is when your players come back and coach for you.
Yes.
And then they tell the kids that they're coaching what it meant for them to be a Tiger, and now they're a Tiger coach.
Right.
And I sometimes I'm in awe in what I hear some of them say. It's pretty cool. But we have had several come back and coach after they've gone through the program themselves.
And the same thing with me when I have some kids that I've coached for rodeo, or even my kids, that just for an example, when Kendra was rodeoing, I was very strict with her about how the horses were taken care of and what gets done before anything else
Right.
gets done.
Right.
These animals are taken care of, and that I see as she's grown how now she insists on those animals being a certain way. And I see her talk to younger kids or something that we coach, and I see that she's saying the same thing that I saw,
Right.
and I thought, wow, that's
But when
paid
you're going
attention.
through that
Paid
time,
attention.
Yeah.
She did pay
yeah,
attention.
she may have said she didn't, or
Yeah.
she may give you,
slack about it.
slack about it. which
Yeah.
kids are going to do that, but you hope that in the end that they'll come back and say, you were right.
Right.
And I constantly remind them that
Yeah.
you will say
I don't know
that.
if that's ever came. I don't know if that's ever came out of their mouth.
I guess you're gonna have to ask her, huh?
Yeah, maybe have to ask her. Outside of business, how do you guys make time for each other? Tell me what y'all do together and I know
This?
that's kind of a
This? Yeah.
it's kind of a hard question because
I think work for me, we don't ever just sit around the house and do nothing. We're pretty much busy doing something all the time. And the good thing about, so when we had the construction company, we were together all the time, and so now you got to separate the business from your home life, and you can't help for some of that to go in. If I'm upset at her about something at work, not to be
You
upset.
can shut your office door, but you can't really shut your office door when you're at home.
when you're
Yeah.
at home.
Right.
And I think for me, I have to constantly be aware of how I am with her when we're at home, because there we're husband and wife, we're not business partners. And
We've gotten really much
I-
better about that through
yeah,
the years.
I think
Yeah.
so. But I struggle with it.
and I agree. I think that's where Kenny and I are also. He has so much more patience and understanding in things when
I'm not saying anything.
okay. He because I'm when I get something on my mind, I'm high drive and I'm 100 miles an hour, and it is very hard for me to sit and relax. It really is, and I've had to be really have self-awareness of when I'm getting to that breaking point. And try to help myself. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, Kelly and I are soul sisters. I'm telling you, and so to the point to where it's been detrimental to our relationship. And he's always been, I guess, stable. I don't know if stable is the word, but he's been my rock, and he's able to kind of bring me down to reality sometimes. So
Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't just see where I can do multiple things at once.
Yeah, I'm so focused. I can't imagine how he can do things that he does when in my mind I'm so focused that this has to be done right now this way. And he's like, no, it could be done several other ways, and
Yeah.
Not
it'll
right
be
now.
fine. Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be fine.
I'm so there.
Yeah. So that's really tough for us as a couple that we've worked through, and it's taken time. I mean, from when we first got married to now. I mean, I know you guys are the same way. Can you imagine looking back how much we've all grown and the struggles that we've gone through? But the fact that we're still here after 20 something years, 30 something years is a testament to us working together. And if you look at it, marriage is kind of like a business.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? It
You have to
kinda
work
is.
at it constantly. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel that I've given her enough appreciation through the times. I think I'm a little better about it now, but I think when we had our business, I didn't give her enough appreciation for what she did for my dream,
And I'm the same. I'm in your shoes. I don't tell him enough how much I appreciate him, because I know I know without a fact, my business could not exist without him.
Yeah.
And I'm not embarrassed to say that a bit,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So, well,
You're
cool.
welcome.
I can't wait till these microphones are off. Yeah, well, you know.
One thing I just want to say is thank y'all for taking the time out of y'all's schedule and doing what y'all do to talk with us, and I just want to say thank you for that, because I mean, y'all are a great couple, great people, and just to give people a glimpse of what you do and how y'all act and the way you think, I think it's going to bring out more people
Yeah,
in
maybe
the
want to
future.
work together.
Yeah.
You know, they're thinking
And,
about
and
it.
it is it's a big thing for couples to come on. I know y'all were hesitant on how this was gonna all go down, but I think at the end it's just a conversation, and
Yeah.
and
We
but
need to talk more. People
Yeah.
need to talk more.
They do.
I
Yeah,
think.
more
Yeah.
talking. I agree with that.
Yeah.
right. I mean, this is where it's so awesome to see this facility and what y'all are doing in the back and how you do it as a family, and that's the big thing is
Yeah.
the family aspect of it.
I don't know how we do. I mean, without the kids being involved, if the kids weren't involved,
It would
and
be
didn't
hard.
want to be involved, it
It wouldn't be what it is.
It wouldn't be. I wouldn't have the passion to do what we do.
Yeah. And I think another parallel between us as couples is you said it, how we've basically, I'm not going to say sacrifice. I don't mean, I never feel like doing something for your family is a true sacrifice.
Right.
I mean, you choose to have kids.
You bet.
And you choose the path, but I mean, I know that, like in our case, doing the rodeo thing with the kids and stuff, stock showing, the endless hours, and the endless resources it takes. Sometimes when we didn't have those resources, sometimes we had to get creative and get in those resources.
Yeah.
And I know with us, we didn't necessarily hide it from the kids, because we wanted our kids to understand that mom and dad don't just give,
Right.
that we have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And they needed to see that. And they needed to see that it was reality, that in order to get this, we may not get this.
Right.
And, you know, and I remember driving up to rodeos before, and we didn't have the fanciest rigs, and we
Yeah.
didn't have the brand new trucks.
Right.
But by God, when we got out of there, they had learned by working at home and those work ethics
Right.
that horse didn't know what kind of trailer it got there.
That's right.
And let me tell you what, there's records set all over the
yeah.
state
Yeah.
because of that.
Hard
And
work.
and Connie with her show animals,
Yeah.
she went out there and there's adults that would turn to me and look and say, that child's amazing what she does. And I'd like to say that it was because of us.
Oh yeah.
But
it is. It has to be.
we instilled the work ethics,
Right.
but you know, they had to take a certain amount of that and use
Accountability.
Yeah.
and accountability on it. But I see that a lot. You know, it's parallel,
Yeah.
building those kids up to be athletes.
You got to let them fall.
Absolutely.
Right.
You
yeah,
don't
for
let
sure.
them fall too hard, too fast, but you got to let them fall and see how they react to it and how do they pull themselves back out and say, okay, you know.
We got to be parents, basically.
Yeah, we have to be parents, and even though our kids are the age that when we got married, I still feel like you have to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
They're still watching you.
They're still
They're
watching.
still watching.
And we're
I'm
still watching them.
still
That's
watching
right.
them.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So obviously, we're thrilled that y'all accepted the challenge to come sit down here and talk to us.
That's the way to
And
put it.
It was
yeah,
a challenge.
It was. Yeah, I'm telling you. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for future notifications, and let us know in some comments below maybe how you worked with your spouse, or if you want to work with your spouse. We would love to hear your feedback. And until next time, don't be scared, move forward, and be creative.